I am so excited because today we have Mark Supreme with us. He is a widely recognized leader who is passionate about education, and he's a best-selling author and dynamic speaker who empowers students and professionals through his unique blend of motivation and practical strategies. And I've experienced this myself in working with him. With over 15 years of experience in education and personal development, Mark Supreme has inspired thousands through his books, workshops, and keynote speeches. And his book, Damn I Graduate in May, is a practical guide to help young adults navigate the real world after school with clarity, confidence, and connection. It also serves as a foundation for college and career fairs, but it's much more than that. It's a mission to create equitable access to post-high school success. Sound good? Is that you?
That's crazy. That's crazy.
It makes you sound pretty good, right?
Yeah, you're funny. That's hilarious.
Well, thank you for being here. I know we've been trying to schedule this for a long time.
Yes, I'm excited. I'm glad to be here. Seriously, thank you for having me.
So this book, what I love about it is it's in your voice, right? I was laughing out loud in the first couple chapters just because I could hear you saying these exact words. Talk about this idea of sort of the literary mixtape. How'd you come up with that? And how'd you frame up the book as you were starting to outline it?
That's a good question. Literary mixtape is because this isn't a traditional book. It's not like I didn't go in. It goes in depth, but it doesn't go into the weeds, right?
Sure.
And I didn't want something that was just super long, drawn out, and I wanted something that I would want to read. So instead of it being like these super long chapters with all this information overload, these are like long, extremely long Facebook posts, and those are the chapters. And it's like it's in order, but it's not, you know. And it's just. It's not super duper polished. It's rough, right? And that's what mixtapes are in rap game. Like you got your albums that you drop, but you also drop your mixtapes that's like more like the passion projects.
Yeah.
You got the albums that satisfy what the label wants, but then you put out music how you want to put it out.
Yeah.
And so I looked at it like a mixtape as if I was a rapper, and that's like kind of my contribution to hip hop a little bit.
What are some of your favorite lessons in the book? If somebody were to say, what are the 2 or 3 things you want people to really stick with if they only read a couple chapters?
What you just mentioned. So again, the reason why it's a mixtape, because you see like there's black pages that have just nuggets of information. So even if you don't read through the whole book, if you just read the black pages, you'll still leave and come away with something.
So you made it very accessible to kids that may not be able to sort of digest all of this.
Exactly. But I think the main lesson would be what you just said. It's about who knows you. So now in your journey to become successful, it's about collecting as many people in relationships and meeting as many people as you can to get people to know you and who you are and what you're capable of. And that's going to put you in a better situation, because had I went to LA and I knew somebody, or the family that I lived with also knew people, then it'd be different. Right. But like my family didn't come from that. We weren't well connected. We didn't have a vast network of people that could just plug us in places like other people did. And so I'm probably like one of the first people out of my family that really try to branch out and also like, you know, build those inroads for relationships.
Another question, what is something you wrote in the book back then that because of lived experience you might change now? Is there anything?
I don't have anything that I would change that's already in there. If anything, there's things that I would add in there.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, more chapters. Maybe there's a version 2.
Yeah, there might be a deluxe come out. You know what I mean? We might drop couple bonus tracks on the mixtape. Yeah.
Like what? What are some things?
One of the things is that sometimes when we pursue something new, we cut everything off that we're doing at that time.
Sure. And
I've done that habitually. Like, you know, like we're going to do this, I'd cut off like the main gig. Some people do, some people don't know that I haven't worked a real job in 4 years. And there's benefits and there's drawbacks to it as well too. And I always felt like if you're going to go pursue the arts, or you're going to pursue entertainment or business ownership, whatever, then you have to stop working and then like just jump both feet in and just do this and get rid of the 9 to 5. Because I think a lot of us were told that as well too. But I don't think it has to be either or. I think there's nothing wrong with maintaining that foundation as you go on to pursue greater. And then when that greater becomes too great for you to hold on to what you had, then you kind of bridge over.
talk about the Yanni Collective, because I don't know as much about that, and I want our listeners to understand how that fits into everything else you do.
Well, as I mentioned, Yanni Collective is myself, Dr. Gregory Wilson, soon to be Dr. Taryn White. I got thrown in fruition. Got thrown it on there for him, and Lexi Lachelle, who's a supermodel as well. She was on America's Next Top Model with Tyra Banks some years ago.
That's awesome.
So this all came from us coming together, 2021, and wanting to do an event, and just I had the platform for Strictly Hip Hop, and we were talking about doing some stuff. Like the team of Strictly Hip Hop was talking about doing some stuff. And then Greg Wilson, he's doing his thing or whatever. And so I just brought in all these people to pull off Juneteenth. That's what it was about. It was pulling off Juneteenth, the first year in 2021. And so, those people that I mentioned, along with like Ray Flacco, who else? There's some other people that was on there, just like a bunch of people that, we just came together and like did it. And then Juneteenth went off. And then after that, it was a small group of us that like stayed talking. We stayed in communication. And even leading up to the Juneteenth event, we'd have like the official meeting for like an hour, but then we look up and like everybody else has dropped off, but we're still talking, and it's 2 hours later, it's 3 hours later, 4 hours later, just like brainstorming ideas and possibilities of what Peoria could need, or just what would be dope to do. And so that went into like the next event. So after Juneteenth, we were all talking. I'm like, hey, I got this idea. We could do like Sophisticated Ratchet and like have an art fair, things like that. And then Terrence's like, yeah, we can do this and that and this. And Greg's like, yeah, we can do this. And Lexi's like, yeah, we can do a fashion show with it or whatever. And then boom, we just do that again.
Sure.
And then after that, it's like, hey, there's a lot of people that, and I forget where we got this from, but people needed toys. I think it was like a family that needed toys or something like that. And we just ended up doing a whole toy drive with other people that are like affiliated with Yanni. So you got Yanni Collective Core, who I just mentioned, but you also have people like Dr. Andre Allen. You got people like Antoine Banks, a product of the projects. You got people like Stephen Graves, Sergeant Stephen Graves, who is in the Air Guard. Don't shoot me. I sometimes say Army on accident. He's like, ain't no Army. But and so it's Yanni is Yanni, but we're so lucky to even have so many people affiliated with the Yanni Collective. So now the radio show Strictly Hip Hop has been expanded to a whole format, it's a whole program. So now, because before when I was part of Strictly Hip Hop, well, the 90.7 WAZU, Strictly Hip Hop was like a 2-hour program in the 2-hour like show in the program, and it was like a heterogeneous mix of just a bunch of different shows, and it's kind of like, it's kind of all over the place a little bit. And so as of 2017, it became like completely urban AC fused with news. So it's like it's hip hop music, like hip hop, rap, R&B, whatever, and then with news breaks as well too. So we've collaborated with WCBU,
cool.
And so now you get those news updates now from WCBU. So huge shout out to them, because this partnership has been great, because it kind of lends itself to my journalistic background, which is a product of my education. So
that's amazing. So what's been your favorite part of the show? Like you said, you've turned it into a bit of a brand platform. It sounds like you've had an opportunity to interview some really great people.
I think we just wanted to fill the void that was left by B92. So
Sure.
when I when I grew up, I listened to B92 on the radio. So that's where all the rap and R&B was coming from. I used to record the music on tapes and things like that and just save them and play it back later. And then the format switched from like urban AC to more pop music,
right?
Which was cool, but then the hip hop and R&B was just gone.
Yeah,
it was gone, right? And we just wanted to fill that void. So that's kind of what that was about.